Okay. So yeah, as a closing opening, it's been 3 months. We could just go, imagine we are in a circle. We are now in squares in the screen, but we are in a circle, so we can go one by one. As a learning method, I think would be interesting to hear, like, what are the things you're taking with you, like right now, like what is in your field from these studies or themes, or things that has been happening that you relate to your own inner dance process and study process. Like, what can you harvest, and what are things that you are core things you're taking with you? If there's some insights or some openings to some things you learned, so when we share those, then we can kind of learn from each other also some of the core things. Or if you just want to check in from a personal space also, what's been happening. So
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Somebody has to start it.
Okay. Go, Michael.
Yes, to be honest, I still have to catch up a lot. I missed 3, and also with the time. Last time I was wrong with the time, so I jumped in later, and but I will catch up. That's for sure. And also due the thing that I'm a bit behind also in the WhatsApp. I didn't read everything yet, so it was a lot. But I do want to do that, because then it's a story, and I would like to be to be on schedule in the story. So for the rest, for me, it was really nice to see with the music. I was in the beginning, I was not so happy with the music, but yeah, it changed, and also I found a mixer, really really good one. And yeah, it's one that I was like, okay, this is my style. I can go from this, and it was last weekend. So it was really nice, and yeah, the thing is also what I've noticed a little bit more, that there are different styles also, and there should be different styles also, I think, and then it's more true to who you are, and what you can do unconditionally, because otherwise you're following something that's not you, and I'm trying to find I think I found a path, and I need to explore that. So that's a bit where I am, and yeah, also the stages and everything was nice to see. I also think that that it doesn't stop. It's not that I've got it now. No, it's a never-ending story, and I'm really happy to know that for myself, that it is a never-ending story. No. All right, that was it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Others in the never-ending story circle. Maybe I can jump in before this little dude is driving me crazy. He's playing with his balloon. Mm, I did not facilitate. I went back to what I said as an intention in the beginning of the journey, and that intention was, let's see if I start facilitating or not at the end. So I promised to start. It's been an eye-opening 3 months, and I've learned so much that I don't think I've ever learned as much in such a short time, with Pai's wisdom and with you, Ituli, and everyone in the group and everybody's questions. And I want to share one thing that I got out of. It came to me it's not a long time ago. It came to me I did a live session with Johanna and Una here in Helsinki a week ago. And I was in that session, in the live one. And then in that live session, I finally got it. I'm nature. And that shift, like the energy in me completely shifted after realizing that. And even when I walked into that live session, I knew there was no turning back. And I told Johanna, who has been facilitating here in Finland for a longer time, that I will be in the next one helping her out, or in some of the next sessions that she will have here in Helsinki. I'm scared, but I think that's the only way to, I think that's scaredness at the end of the day is just realizing that I can never know it all. And I just gotta trust. And I think it's been a beautiful journey with all the wisdom. And one of the biggest takeaways that I remember now was this, when Pai had this session about holding a bigger space for the people around us, whether that means for my son, or whether that's my parents, or whether that's my friends, or whether that's at the workplace. And I think that was something that sparked this interest in me to study as much as possible how the world works and how everything is, and that's as Michael, you said, that's a never-ending story. I don't think we can completely ever get it. And maybe I want to share this last bit, that I've started to talk to souls. That's incredible. So whenever I talk to people, I'm talking to them as physical beings, but I'm also talking to their soul. And that's a wow thing to be able to grasp that on both, like on so many levels, that I think there's a lot to. I'll leave it here, but there's a lot to, if I remember who I am, and even if I lose that remembrance once in a while, when I get kind of carried away by life and all the external happenings, if I just inner dance, facilitating it or participating it, it's just reminding me of who I am. So I'll end with that. I won't probably be here today till the end, because I need to get this dude to sleep. But I thank you for everyone, yeah, for holding the space as well. Thank you. Kiitos. Mm. We can go one by one. Whoever wants to unmute. We weave our story together.
I don't mind going if we're just it's quiet that long. I was trying to finish washing a pot and I did, so I guess I can go ahead and go. Y'all can hear me? Yeah, cool. My reflections are kind of far and wide, honestly. I started facilitating, towards the end of the course. I have like a weekly class now, and I'm already having to try to find bigger space than I started in. Like my studio is a great space for like up to 5 to 6 people, but it's starting to seem like my weekly class is going to grow to like 10 or more. And then I was talking earlier about working in the sober living community that's actually out here on this island that I live on. And I think I'm doing that this week, Sunday. And they have like 20, 25 people, and they have like this big space. So I'm interested to see how I'm going to set up the speaker arrangement for that, because I've been doing a speaker per head because I really like the immersion of the sound. And if I can get like a nice speaker with a low end bass response to actually really like talk to the body through the vibration, I find that incredibly helpful, especially for new people to be like super immersed in it, because they haven't had the opportunity to tap in yet to where they know how to hit that frequency and kind of like go wherever they go and ride off. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm sorting that out for a bigger group. I'm gonna like do the bass response stuff for people, so I'm like sure that their body's having contact with the full frequency of like what's being presented. Other reflections, I'm really just like kind of like working on a practical level with this right now, like having to do like organizational stuff around like organizing classes for people and like the stuff I just talked about. I still do like a session inner dance journey like every morning myself when I wake up for about at least an hour or something, sometimes longer. And yeah, it just keeps building on itself. My diet's been slowly changing. Like, I don't know, everything's just kind of changing, and I don't know, I'm here to roll with it. So I don't ask too many questions around things like that. I just kind of go. But yeah, I guess I'll just close with saying thank you to everybody for, being here, everyone's questions and kind of like energy and caring around the intensive has been helpful. There's been stuff that's been brought up that's helped me a lot that I wouldn't have thought of myself without everybody being here. So I think that's really great. And I mean, obviously, of course, to Pi and Tuli, thank you very much for holding the space for all of us and, helping us further down this road. Yeah, I just look forward to what's next. I'll be doing this for, probably the rest of my life. So we'll just see where it goes. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I love the lightness of the probably rest of my life. Learning and doing and being amazing, guys. Thank you.
I'll go next. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll be starting monthly sessions in a local chaplaincy space, which is this really beautiful sacred space with lovely accumulated energy. And it's the 2 that I've put on already have been sold out. So I'm excited for that. And I'm going to be offering this to a rape and sexual assault centre. So I'm going to be working with women and who have experienced violence or who are sex workers. And I'm really curious about how to really integrate my therapy experience and my trauma specialisms with this. So the conversations around interweaving that into the research and the understanding of the body from that perspective has just been brilliant for me. I've loved that. And so personally, I've experienced a real shift in my relationship with time and this sense of past, present, future simultaneously. And I'm noticing that in my therapy client work as well. And even I'm noticing that my memory's improved. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Limitless, but I tend to believe that I don't have any general knowledge. But lately I've just been pulling information's just been coming out of me, and I can't even remember that I remembered that kind of knowledge. And I'm finding that fascinating, and I can feel my brain reshaping and rewiring, and yeah, so just this and all my dreams are so expansive, and it just feels like I'm never not in the dance, you know, and I'm learning with the technology, and I'm putting together these playlists, and I'm going through the inner dance as I'm putting the playlist together, and yeah, it's infinite, and I can feel like my soul animating, body's animating, just tuning into that. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm harvesting at the moment, and just really excited for everyone and how you're all bringing this into the world, and you know, all your corners of the globe, and how I suppose I guess we're all present at each other's inner dances, aren't we, in our own way, really? And I don't know, but yeah, just really excited for everybody and what's to come. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Hmm. Yes. Let's go next. Hmm. Okay, George.
Hi, everybody. Do you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yes. Yeah, I learned actually a lot through the whole 3 months, and still a lot to practice. I mean, because I need to work on the music, how to make the music, and in which for which situation. I mean, for which if somebody have a some illness, of kind of illness, needs to be like need to be treated or need to be healed with this kind of music. So I need to practice a lot on it. I learned a lot. Like I experienced also a lot through these 3 months. I like sometimes even on the meeting, on the Zoom meeting, I feel the vibrations, high vibrations, even while I'm listening to the meeting. I'm doing myself like when I'm going to sleep, like I'm listening to the inner dance playlist, like maybe 3-4 times. And I found like it helps me a lot in some ways. Like I like Natalia was talking one time on the craving, if it helps on craving food. I found it helps a lot because I just begin my my dieting. I just begin dieting. It helps a lot. And when I'm going to the dream, like I experienced before, like sometimes you don't feel it like you in the dream, you feel it this is the reality, you know. I experienced this before, but I know it's a reality. But when I ask myself in the dream, I'm asking myself, is this reality or I'm in the dream? I figure out, no, I'm in the dream. But what happens in these 3 months, like when I'm going to the dreams, like I can't figure it out if it's when I ask myself or ask some while I'm dreaming. Like I'm asking, no, I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. So I'm thinking, this is not a dream. This is This is a reality. What I'm dreaming is so intense. I'm not like, I can't figure it out. Like I can't figure it out. So this also if somebody knows me, like I'm a sports a little, like not really a little, but I do some sport. So so I just I have this. What it called? Sorry, my English a little bit. Sometimes I need to looking for some words. So what happened with me? Like maybe 3 weeks ago or something, I cracked my left shoulder, which happened before some years before, and I need like to stay like months. So it's like 4 or 5 months not sporting. I listen to the playlist, and actually I even didn't expect that I'll be ready soon. So but in the next day directly I went to sport. So this was really, but to be honest, also because I'm doing also another healing modalities. So I'm doing reconnective healing and blue dot. So I done it also before I'm going to sleep. So and while I'm sleeping, I listen like 3 or 4 times throughout the night. And the next day, I just went to sport, and it's okay. It's okay. So well, years ago, I really like I need to like not sport at all for many months. Yes, so that's so yeah, like it helps a lot, and it's on the physical level and on the I don't know how to say it, but it's like on the soul level, or your light body, or what it, I don't know, the intelligence lives inside. So I don't have a name or label to name it. So it's crazy because it's and I went one more advantage to join this training or course or the meetings, that I became like, because I want to go deep actually, to know myself more. So it's like and it helps me a lot. The intensive training helps me a lot to do it. So so it's crazy how it works. I learned really a lot. I need to go through everything again, of course, and to uh, and yes, and the practice itself, which I will learn what to do more or what to do less, and in which like situation. But it's crazy, like so I'm grateful for this training, and to you and Pi, and thank you everybody also. So it was really nice to know everybody and to learn from everybody. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, George. Yeah, some friends in the screen that might be ready to share.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I would love to because I'm catching a plane. Hello. Is this your birthday?
Mine?
Is today? Yes. No, your birthday?
In few days, not yet.
Okay.
I'm still
okay.
38 young. Thank you.
Okay. Well, a little bit sad that it is ending. And I need to catch up a lot. I feel that there's a lot of information that I want to have it very clear. I want to have more confidence to give inner dance to people because I'm really willing to do that. So I want to start like with my family and then with other people. I've been doing inner dance for myself minimum twice a week. And there are a lot of changes, like releasing a lot of emotions. And also I realized and I felt how to be out of my body, like feeling one with the cosmos, one with the earth. And that was amazing. So I'm trying to practice when I'm in spaces or with people that I'm not comfortable very much. So I'm trying to feel that I am them and they're me, practicing that. And also I felt the earth was embracing me, like to trust, because earth is giving me everything. And I'm reminding that every day. My body hasn't moved, not in one session, but I know that it doesn't matter. And I want to go deeper in this journey, deeper and deeper. I've been listening to a lot of playlists. I have preference for one and another. So I would love to stay connected, and I would love to ask questions and to have like more insights about this family, because I really want to continue and to be a therapy that I can give to people, because I also felt that it's not only with the power plant that I work with, that I can work with inner dance in 2 hours, taking things out of the body. So I'm very grateful. I'm very excited, and I'm here for all of you. And I love you, and I send you a big, big hug. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Where are you traveling, Paula?
To Mexico City.
Okay.
I'm going back to my city.
Have a smooth travels there. Thank you for sharing from the airport space.
I wanted to be here with you, so it was perfect the time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuli. Thank you very much.
We still have some voices. Is there Prissy or Natalie wants to share?
Yeah, I'll share. First off, thank you, Pi, for everything that you shared with us. It was very expansive to share this time, or it's only been 3 months and it feels like so much longer. And at the same time, it doesn't feel long enough. So it's also a closing with some mixed emotions. Even though I still have to do the website rooms, the color rooms. So I'm catching up as well. Some things that I really want to take with me is that I've been walking this path with some kind of trembling, or like really walking through the threshold of surrendering in the process. For me, it was very much like I had so much expectations and conditioning, so it was peeled off. And for me, the process was more spontaneous. So I don't move, or I don't move like to the extreme like a dance, but my spirit moves, and it takes me through time and space, and it takes me to travels inside inner earth and on a galactic level. And you know, I practice mediumship and I channel for other people, and the way I channel has completely shifted. So it doesn't feel heavy on my body at all. It feels very natural. And the shifts when I channel for others isn't that intense like it usually was in my body, and I could feel it rise up through the cosmos, and now it's just like poof. So what is going well is like I can listen to my body, and I rest when I need rest. I have a lot of patience for my family, for strangers, for people who are driving in traffic. It was like it's something that I just noticed. Like I was very stressed when I was driving through traffic, and everybody like is doing things, and you feel unsafe. And I feel a lot of more calm presence when I drive the car, so that's very nice. And also I have time. I don't rush myself. I don't rush my kid. And it seems that without doing the rush, we're actually on time. So that's a bit of crazy. What can I share? Oh yeah, I did the inner dance process on my own. And at a certain point, it felt like we talked about the retro causality, and I feel this really yeah, intuitively flowing through me, like how to move through life with so much trust, and actually taking actions before you actually know what's happening. So I was doing a ceremony with someone, and I stopped it earlier because we were going to be interrupted in like 10 minutes. So I closed down the ceremony, and I said, okay, now we're going to close the space. And then suddenly there was this major crisis, and somehow I intuitively felt it. So that was pretty magical as well. And another thing is I had some kind of lump in the right side of my breast, and it hurted like already for like 2 years, and it's totally gone. And yeah, I think it was after the 2nd month that I noticed it, like, oh, it doesn't hurt anymore. And then I thought, oh, the lump is totally gone. So yeah, I'm going to close it down, but I also am interested in facilitating, but I do feel I want to be more, that I want to be more confident in holding space with the music. And I feel like the DJ apps and stuff, it's like still a learning process for me. So yeah, thank you all for listening and sharing this learning space together.
Thank you, Prissy. Beautiful to hear you. Do we still have voices? Natalie, you want to share? I'm going through the ones who I can see.
Hello. Hello, dear ones. I don't know what to share, but I can see it's like another 2 Mexicans, so nice. I hope to see you soon. Let me know when you're gonna come, which month. and I'm keep learning. I feel like I just need to learn more, and sometimes I'm not sure of myself. Sometimes like I don't know, like I'm trying to do it, and I don't know if I still doing it or I already not connected with myself. So I'm still need to practice, and I keep learning. And I don't know, I wanna see you, and happy to be here in this course. Happy to learn from you. That's it. I send you big hugs. And today is your birthday, so yeah, that's it. Thank you for everything. And
Thank
see
you.
you soon.
We are in this for life, all one way or another. So I'm sure our paths will cross. Thank you. Is there anyone else who is in a speaking space? Some people in, but maybe some people are not.
Italy.
Yes.
I also want to share that I went to London and I saw Lynn and she gave me a session. She went to my hotel and it was beautiful to meet her. And I felt an inner dance session given by some of our family here. And it was really beautiful how she held the space. And I felt so embraced by her. And I want to thank her here in the group.
Amazing. Lynn is also in our study space here, but not online today. Wow. Yeah, we have the network, a network of or web. I feel it like this inner dance, like the global community, and it's interesting. It's like ever changing network. And I'll just yeah, that it's somehow meant to be how we are connecting in space and time right now. So we have this group space, and however we've been weaving our web right now here, and where does it expand, and how do we connect and meet each other? Somehow the world for me feels very small, like our web of connections, especially for sure now when we're able to be online. But it's in the end, if we travel or not, while listening to all of you guys, I felt this really huge appreciation that we are actually able to do it this way. Even this is kind of our last online course in this form right now, that we've been holding 2.5 years or almost 3 years. Our space with the online things, but in this form, this we're celebrating this last group for now in this format, and to feel that it's funny because it's kind of closing also our work in this format, and at the same time feeling how important actually this is, that we are able to be in our own homes. We are able to be with our closed ones, so we're able to journey with time. Like, we're expanding for sure the space and time in so many ways, but even to give 3 months time to kind of digest and settle, even it's short, it's kind of a short time, but it's also a long time. And there's something, what I feel, just being exposed to a lot of questions and emails and people wanting to learn, but there's some really there's been big waves of fastness lately in the last years, and I can feel the fastness was in my own process also 8 years ago when I encountered inner dance, that there was this feeling of that I want to learn it, I want to understand what this is, because it was so life-changing, even that one session for me. So I totally understand the urge and the fastness of the that there's some kind of very fast speed of energy, and it's accelerating a lot of the processes, and also the wanting to share it. Like, it came for myself very automatically when I took my time, maybe one year to almost 2 years before I was kind of in my own process ready to actually physically hold the space. But the feeling was since the first moment that if this is so remarkable for my own process, why would it not be shared with, like, everyone? Kind of that feeling that everyone needs to experience this, and without knowing exactly why I had such a big urge that this is something to be shared. But it felt like there's something life changing for myself in that free space, and from an equal solidarity, like everyone should be allowed to that feeling of freedom and understanding all the things that are actually generating inside of us, and then connecting to the outside world. But the fastness of maybe what I'm more mirroring is that people want it really, really fast right now, and like a 5-day or a 10-day, or we just had a training group here, and there's also like impatience in people, that there's like I want it fast, and I want to make something out of it very, very fast. That's been in the air partly in the world, especially with some like other variations of inner dance and energy movements. There's this like this thing that people need to make something out of it very fast, or a business model or a thing. So from that light, I've noticed like to sit with it for 3 months, like we all have been doing, bring some much more profound or deeper questions to the space, and that we're able to even many of us feel like, okay, we need, myself included, like I need to catch up, I have to look at certain themes and theories, and I still want to look at certain Zoom calls again and listen to with time. And I don't think that feeling maybe will ever be gone from my space, that I have this feeling that I want to go back to things and study more. But still we've sit with it for 3 months, and looking at the questions, and being present in our own ways, how much we've been able to put. Many of us have families and other things, so there's something really precious to sit with things and give it a time, and then realizations that are coming that this is actually a longer process, or this is for life, and we are not in a hurry in some way. Even there's urgency for sure in the world, that things like this, and how can we share things from our, like some of you said, like being aligned with authentic self, or our true self, or something that is true to us. I feel there's definitely urgency in the world to be aligned, first and foremost with ourselves, and then with our environment around us and people around us, so we can ripple that kind of a change and effect in this planet. So it's amazing that the ones who feel have started to share or explore it and learn also through others' bodies, and the ones who are feeling into it are taking our time, because it's not something we need to hurry. At the same time, it's something that it's beautiful if we also find time and space to practice in alive conditions. But yeah, something in this online space feels really important and precious, and it's because of all of you also, and it's still mind-blowing for me that we are actually able to journey in our homes and in our own space, and then be so connected and open in the WhatsApp group or with our sharings, just by not needing to physically meet. Because I feel there's some other connections that this process is creating between us. So thank you for creating it. It's all co-created. None of us would be here if the other one would not be here. So Pai wouldn't be sharing his insights and learnings if no one would not listen to it. So that we all want to gather around these topics and look at it. It's created by us wanting to go deeper and study. So the creation starts from all of us. So this has been a very beautiful to share this journey, and I'm sure, Ida is there in the screen. Do you want to share?
Yeah, hello, how are you doing?
Good. We want to
Hello
hear
to
your
everyone.
process. Also, you
I
can
was waiting
share.
for my,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't see your face. Go.
Yeah, how are you? How are you doing? I'm really happy to see you again. And very, very thankful for you and for Pai, for everything what I doing during the inner dance and during this training course, intensive course. Thank you for everyone for this space while the training course. So I just want to share that after offline session with you, like in Maya, I had lots of changes, like in my relations. It became much more better, and also I added to my hypnotherapy sessions. I added also this inner dance, and it has been changed a lot, the quality and the understanding while the inner dance, and I see the changes in the mind of my clients, and and they also got acquainted with something different and they never ever tried before, and they could see the possibility to be in the other dimensions. So that's why it was very good experience for them as well. And I'm thankful for the playlist which Pai created. It was so wonderful and it was so great because I'm listening to it every day, as Pai suggested, like try to do it every morning or before night. So so I'm very, very thankful for the all changes, for this space, for this knowledge, for everything what you are doing from your heart, and I really can feel it and accept it and thankful so much. I love you guys. I'm so missing you so much. I really missing you. I really want to see you again.
I can share fast because
Say hi
Ida
to
was
Pai.
she's
Yeah.
here. Ida was partly here. She's in Kazakhstan, but she was partly here in Maya, the beginning of the online course. So the people who were here were part of this online course, but they weren't so much able to be on the, because these are 2 a.m. But she was basically, I just want to share, Ida came here for translating. So we had 3 people from Russia, and they hired her to come to translate the studies for them. It was a group of hypnotherapists, a trainer, and hypnotherapist people. This was 2 months ago, and she basically came here to translate and stayed for 3 weeks. And she went through the energy and the languaging and theories from Russia to English, English to Russia. So her brain was quite bombarded with needing to be all the time. And then the interesting part was that, Ida went really, really deep in her own process while actually coming to more to kind of translate to others. But the translation and language thing also, I think it hit your brain a lot.
Yeah.
And now you've been back in Kazakhstan and back to your family, and you wanted to share this with kids also. So it was interesting to follow also Ida's journey from here, from physical now to the online.
Yeah, I hope to see you guys in Kazakhstan as well. I really want to see you.
So if any one of us will go to Kazakhstan, Ida is there. And
Yeah.
interesting space. She's alone with inner dance. So before she get other friends, any one of us can go and connect.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm happy to see you in the online space too.
Me too. Yeah.
We had also Gemma there.
Italy, if you're talking, you're muted. I'm not sure if you were talking.
Oh, yes, I was talking. I'm here dark mumbling myself. Now I have to rewind my brain what I was talking. Okay, just maybe closing my sharing. So thank you, Anna-Rika. It would be boring to talk to myself only. So yeah, thank you all for sharing and weaving maybe my own closing or closing that I don't feel there's I don't feel goodbyes ever or closing in that way. It's kind of an opening and trusting that there's something that we share deeply already and that will weave its way to different connection points in life. We are here, so if anyone wants to reach out, we are always, even sometimes it takes time to answer some WhatsApp messages or emails, but we are here for sure and open to be connected and see however we all will journey. We have the ongoing study group called Studios Mundos, which is the ones who've been coming into the Sunday calls. There's 60 plus facilitators or inner dance people around the world right now. And then I think Pi is brewing some other ways of also be connected online later on, but we'll have now 2-3 months travels and focusing on our community projects also here in Palawan in between, but there's for sure ways to be in contact and stay tuned. We can, if you guys want to keep it's up to you more, if you want to keep the WhatsApp group open or you want to be connected through that to each other, it's totally possible. And then if people are not interested to stay in or connect, then people can just jump off. We will not be so much in the old WhatsApp groups to just focus on the ongoing study groups also, but definitely can have channels open that way. And maybe in the future we would have, the dream is to have some kind of online, like a just free platform to network and see what's happening around the world. It needs some technical support and help, but that would be kind of a dream, that if I travel somewhere, there would be a platform to find others, to freely connect and see like what's happening in places. But yeah, I think this is amazing beginning for all of us, and like Paula met Lynn in London and others. If you travel and you go to places, it's always, you can always ask also from us, like if there's someone in that place where you're going. That's how I've always now got used to travel, that if I go somewhere, usually there's always someone related to inner dance in that country, and it's kind of even beautiful to go and have a cup of tea, coffee, or sit down or meet or co-facilitate, share the space. I wonder if, is there anyone else who still wants to share or check in or out space, the ones who haven't? Wait, let me check.
Okay, I can go.
Okay, there's one more. One more wants to share. Okay, bye.
So I'm in the rooftop under moonlight. I'm sure my camera doesn't capture so much, but I can send light from another source, not visible, but audible. So yeah, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to just send some closing thoughts in gratitude and in continuity, in containment. There's a lot that wants to be shared, but already there's so much that's been shared. I'm gonna try to tick off some points from like my notebook brain based just on today and what I'm resonating with what you've shared. I find closings to be really important. It brings things up in a way that's really holistic and integrative. Like I think we're growing down, we're growing up, we're growing sideways, we're going inwards and outwards. And it's a kind of ritual to grow together. I think that's something a lot of us yearn for. Like, what does it mean to grow with others? There's always going to be others. There's actually so many others. It's mind-blowing how many others there are. So we work with synchronicity, spiritual accidents, and synchronicity, accidents, because there's an art to it, to work with the big other, that everything is a mirror of the self. Yeah, my memory is kind of blank, but there's actual stuff there. So we ended our 10-day training here in my 2 days ago, or was it just yesterday? 2 days ago, maybe. So yeah, 2 days ago. So people have been going home bit by bit. I brought 2 people home, not home. I brought 2 people to the airport today, one of whom is part of this intensive. She's probably like traveling on travel mode still, so she's not here with us. So I got to practice because I asked her to sit in the passenger seat because I wanted to talk to her. She's been in the energy for 3 years. And she came to Maya with the interest of, can I do trainings? Does that make sense? And so I wanted to talk to her more about it. And one of the things I told her is, when you facilitate, you actually train. There's no actual difference. The difference between a training and a session is a training just gives people more information. You know, like how much information can you give someone in a day or 2 days or a month? So when people experience something, they will want to know more about the thing. And it's only natural that, you translate energy into language. So that opening line helped me to perceive my own mind, what goes through myself when I hold space for those who are holding space, and even for those who would hold space for those who are going to hold space. It's not always easy because there are so many variations of intentions and where people are at, where they're coming from, what part of the world they're coming from, who they're speaking to, what are they bringing into the room, to try to put that together so that we can create a puzzle. We can create something whole out of that. It's always interesting, sometimes challenging, often always beautiful, when we're trusting. So that brought me back to my early days, my heydays of conducting like these training processes. And my realization was, in the beginning, people feel the energy. So when you introduce information to people, there has to be a way in which the experience of the energy would match the information that would make it visible as a structure or as something more concrete. So in the beginning, I would talk about this thing that goes up and down. There's this thing that goes up, and then there's this thing that goes down. And later, the thing that goes up and goes down, those would have names. Those would be called like magnetism and electricity. I think the word Kundalini resonates a lot with people because it's an energy that goes up, and then the concept of Kundalini, there is a thing that goes down. It's the ego. The ego dies. So there's enough of a simple explanation to help hold the energy with that as an opening. The person I was talking to, she started with Kundalini. So in my realm, it also started with that like a long time ago. I talked about Kundalini and the ego death a lot because it bore representation for the energy that rises and falls, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes one at a time. Sometimes the one thing happens a lot more, and then you have to wait for the other thing to happen, however long it takes. So then electricity and magnetism would shift into, let's say, it could be understood as the autonomic nervous system. And then before you know it, like there could be more information added to these elements that scaffold like a structure that bears a bigger understanding of the world, that begins from like something essence, something core, something middle, something that seems to begin to explain the unexplainable from a really, really simple way. So next thing you know, you're now seeing it as, okay, it's time and space, it's sound and image, it's body and mind. All of these that seem polar are all coming together. So in the trainings that I hold, including these online ones, I tend to go into repetitions of certain terms. I often do that on purpose. Because it's like learning a new language. You know, the more you immerse in a new culture, the more what used to be meaningless starts to be meaningful. So the more we go around in circles, around the same thing, looking at the same thing in different ways. And that's all we've been doing. We've been looking at the same geometry, the same drawings, but talking about it in infinite ways that begin to like maybe familiarize ourselves with the one. That's going to show up in infinite ways when you do live in the world, so that the basic patterns get hidden, so we don't see it anymore. So I'm saying this to those who would hold space, and even if you don't hold space in a dance wise, if you're holding the space for this vision of the world, this understanding of oneness that had been designed to come from a duality that we learn to be compassionate and patient with, even love, because we choose it. We didn't, it's not that we chose it, we choose it. We always choose it by validating the creationism that we're in now. You would hold space if you bring that understanding that everything's always coming back to home. Everything's homewards, and we just have to trust that this is by design. That this is all actually perfect. So what we can look forward to is that we can handle a greater complexity that is able to manifest things, to hold the world, to embrace the world without pushing it away, to not be afraid of it, to not be scared of it, to wake up in the morning. It's like, okay, it's not here we go again. It's like, okay, here we go again. Yes. We need that. We kind of need that. Something that's not alternative, something that's, you know, like everything's nature, everything's part of all of it. So a lot of the ways of sharing within our gathering, there's something that took a lot of care. We needed to put so much care, especially these last 3 months. So we've been doing it so many times the last 3 years. This for me was really special. If I could describe it, like what we're doing always as humans anyway, something we're doing in inner dance as well, sometimes inner verse, we're basically putting a bunch of small things into a bunch of bigger things. And those bigger things are going to be part of even bigger things. So let's say you hear certain words again and again, not general words like resonance, vibration, frequency, but words that hold more specificity. So let's say the brain or the nervous system, and then you make that specific into the peripheral nervous system, and then you cut that up, so it becomes the autonomic nervous system. Cut that up, and it becomes the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. When you repeat those words again and again, and you get exposed to them. So let's say, at first you hear about, okay, the body, and after that it becomes the brain, and then just cut that up until That becomes like neurotransmitters, hormones, endocrine glands. The more you hear the more generalized word, that holds a dimension. And then the more you hear the super specific words, which Italy described as the things that we sat with. I think that was the thing that we did. We sat with it. It's quite an achievement to set a 1 hour meeting with people sometimes in today's lifestyle. So I was looking at all the videos on the YouTube channel, and this is just, I think, two rounds worth. We didn't include all of those other rounds from past Zoom meetings. So it's like, okay, there's 50 videos on there, and by the time we would have uploaded this, we would have been responsible for 25 of those. So if you do the math, like 25, 50, let's say 50 times 3 hours, times the minutes, times the seconds, it would take you somewhere between 6 or 7 days to watch the whole thing without sleeping or doing anything else. So maybe you missed some calls, maybe you didn't. And sometimes it doesn't even matter if you catch up or not with some of the others, because there's some similarities with all the calls anyway. What's important sometimes in the starting point is to get what's called a gist. I don't know if you know what the gist is. If English is not your native language. The gist is like the sense of the whole. It's the sense of it's like the point. But what's the point? If you get the gist, the point, the whole, the sense, then you would have gotten it anyway, and then you can start out on sharing, on gifting, on loving. Because and then when you experience the energy, then you would be more and more ready for like the smaller objects, the smaller things that comprise the bigger thing, that then comprise the even bigger thing. Right? I need to stop walking. I'm getting breathless and tired. I was walking in a circle. So the more you get exposed to all these dimensionalities, I do need to move. I'm gonna walk slower. I was walking really fast. When you get exposed to the super small and the super big, the point there is that you can hold both dimensions at the same time. I think that's what humans are trying to do. Because of the nature of media today, we're exposed to so much information. We're accumulating so much information, so many images, so many sounds, so many words, so much info. You know, there's like this whole AI thing globally that's blanketing the earth. Whatever the A stands for and whatever the I stands for you. It doesn't have to be the normal AI. But there's this whole central nervous system waking up across the world, blanketing the earth. And there's so much data, so much information scattering, and everyone's exposed, everyone's connected, they're all part of the grid. I don't want to say everyone, but there's this feeling that everyone's, the earth's becoming smaller, and we're all streaming into each other. You can't hide from each other. We're all like part of each other. But then we're adding stuff. Everyone's excited to accumulate and add stuff. So some kind of system needs to come up that helps us to integrate and puts the stuff together. And so that's what the inner work is for. All kinds of inner work, not just the inner dance. Anything that helps to piece things together, either energetically or consciously, cognitively, you know, either through just a sense of it or actually coming into clarity, like becoming clear, deserving for that to be clear on a personal level and all the way to a global level. That's what we're doing. That's what you would be doing. That's what probably you're already doing in some ways, many ways, with your people. It could be even with your mom. It could be with a friend. It could be with a puppy dog. It's just, how do you hold more of it in a holistic way that's energetic and conscious at the same time, you know, like dreamlike but also awake. So that's my gratitude part for you to actually sit with it. We're doing something here together with an inner dance. Something's happening in inner dance. Like one of the bigger things is the gifting process. We're wanting to constantly find ways to liberate the energy. And for me, holding these Zoom calls means allowing the energy to speak itself without interruption. Being able to hold a thought long enough, wide enough that it gets spoken well when we're all in trust and we're all holding, you know, kind of focused ground in a way that we're clear. We're not in cognitive dissonance. We're not, you know, we don't have agendas. We're not coming from an agenda. We're not coming from a system of control. And liberating it is really, it's really important now. So I actually just want to give it away. We want to show people and share with people how simple it is. That it's not something to make complex. And I'm not saying complex by way of information, and you know, the universe is complex. The brain is complex. The earth is complex. The human mind is the thing that tries to simplify because it has this agenda in the world to beat death and to, you know, the more the being relaxes, the more it can actually handle complexity when it has access to the psychic energy that it normally does not when it's stressed out. You know, then when it has space, it starts to philosophize and ask essential questions that it's interested in. And this energy can give us that. It does in practice. And just by the outcome, when we start to have this new relationship with time and space. So for me, like, I really am seeing that there's a way out of this messiness we call modern living in the world, like survival of the fittest, living the rat race, running the hamster wheel. It took some time for me to understand how inner dance might help in a practical way. You know, it can be easier to see sometimes how it can help in an impractical way, you know, just by setting off into the universe and not having to be here in this painful reality. When we began these online journeys 3 years ago, and we were starting to create these playlists using these new programs like Logic Pro and then Ableton. it was actually really cool when someone would send a message that said, okay, I've got a problem or got an issue, and there's rarely that time to respond to everyone because already there's so much happening here. It was such a cool thing that we could just send a Google Drive link, and then the next thing you know, I'm getting a response saying, oh, thank you so much. And it takes maybe 3 seconds to send the link, a couple of seconds to read the text, and then write a response. Some of the playlists would have taken, let's say, a day, 2 days, 3 days to prepare. But some of those that have been shared multiple times, again and again. The first time we started to record these was maybe 2016 or 17. But I only really felt like sharing what had started to come out just during the pandemic, during COVID. So I'm really fascinated by the economy of movement, the optimalization people love to use, where so much is happening, and it's because of the prior work that has been put in. So when I conduct playlists in Maya or from Maya, and some of those are the online, we did one closing session the other day, and I brought all the instruments out, and that's the first time I used all of them, like in a live setting. It was really chaotic and loud, but the feedback was like, wow, that was like the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. That like one of the participants who's been in inner dance for 7 years, she was like, oh wow, okay. I was really needing to hear that feedback because for me, it's not about the music. It's about like all of the days where small things were seen, either in the energy or either in the world. It's going to be one or the other. Was it in the energy from inside, or is it outside in the world? And so we absorb, we take in so many small things, day by day, minute by minute. And at that time, and this is going to be you. It's going to be at the time you're holding space, whether you're using Spotify or some ready-made playlist or something you're creating in your own that is appropriate for the place you're in. It speaks to the energy in people's bodies. It's going to be the same thing. It's like everything just coming together, and it just becomes a one moment in a one space with a room that became like a one being. It's what we're doing. It's what we do. It's what we are going to be doing. So you kind of want to honor the small things. Every time you slow down and you learn to sit with things. Right, in terms of people are really in a hurry right now, including in the energy process. There's a lot of people who are such a mad rush to get there. And energetically, that's what the energy does to it. It speeds things up. So other people want a shortcut and not have to sit with things. What I'm wording is actually what they're saying. It's like, I don't want to listen to this. It's like, I want it fast. I want it huge. And I want it easy. There's a lot that happens when people then start to have it slow and even small and even seemingly difficult, to the point when difficult is not difficult. It actually becomes pleasurable because you earned it. You sat with it. I'm not just talking about like here. I'm talking about any time you're able to sit with things, not running away from it, not rushing, not needing something to happen, but just being with it, being with the world, like meditating with the world, meditating with the universe, and in a harmonic, symphonic, resonant way. That's what we did. That's what we do. And I think that's what would liberate the energy. Like I've been constantly asking the question, what would you end up with if you sat with this, if you worked with this for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What would you end up with? What would you walk away with? What would you end up holding? For me, my own check-in is what inner dance has given me is the ability to hold a larger story, so that no matter what's happening in the smaller story, I don't lose my place in the bigger picture. Even if I get triggered by some kind of problem or emergency, there's this thing above me, at the back of my head, inside my body, that's seeing how it's all connected. That, okay, no matter what's happening, it's all part of a bigger story. And there's a lot of perspective. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of love when we can have that, that we're not easily disrupted, that we're not easily cutting off the super big conversation the universe is having with itself through us. That's what the energy is. It's a communion. Communication is a nice word, but communion, and it comes from the same root, but it holds this energy of actually getting heard. Like the energy itself gets heard by itself, either in silence or in a thunderstorm, a tornado. I think that's what humans are learning to do right now, learning how to build connections inside and outside in a way that would sustain, would be solid, even though it's a liquid way of constructing. There's a solidity there. There's something that doesn't sway anymore. Something gets built that's at the core, the center. And that's what you scaffold on, So don't be scared of going in circles, just like I'm doing right now, walking in circles. Don't be afraid of talking about the same thing over and over again. Maybe something you can tell yourself is there are so many pathways to the same place. There's so many pathways to the same place. And as long as you're clear, as long as you're not in the space of hiding your own truth alongside the truth of the world, the objectivity of the world as it truly is, then I think you're on the way to constructing a better way, a newer earth, a brand new, baby world, baby universe, baby earth. So you would have done it. You would have created the conditions where growth can happen. And I want to congratulate you for that. Beyond this gathering we're having, beyond this inner dance thing, I think it's really important to be inclusive right now. That we're just you know, we're not ironic, we're not paradoxical. We know what this is. This is supposed to bear unity. I want to say thank you, and I want to congratulate you. I want to say I'm really amazed by your journey, the journeys people are having, the level of inquiry. Like every day, people just feel so clear and so honest and strong, brave, and able to go into unknown things with so much trust. And in the simple ways, which are the ways that matter, it just makes me so happy. It brings hope. And our time together, especially what you shared today, we don't always have the space for receiving feedback in these calls, but just listening to your feedbacks, it's always so good to receive that. So keep giving that away freely every day. Yeah. So sending a lot of love from here. As Italy said, we're going to be taking a break. I need to go back to some of my books, and this is maybe the first time we would have stopped building massively in Maya to prepare for the hosting. It wasn't even just after the typhoon, even before the typhoon, we've been concentrating on building structures for guests and for our local villagers. And something just seemed to have stabilized this month where we can actually rest, and we can catch up with like all of this build up and just be. So would love to invite you to continuous conversation in Studios Mundos. There will be several calls per month still, with a lot of the people who have studied in these courses. So just write Italy for that. If you want to be in continuity, or if you want to take a break, then just review the calls. They will be there continuously. And they, for those who said like you're catching up, don't feel like you need to. A lot of those would be relevant once you got people into a deeper commitment level to giving more of their time. If you're holding experiential space, if you feel like you have the gist, then stay with that. It's when you feel you're ready to start conducting what's called a training or an immersion or a retreat, when there will be more time for words, you will find the information super useful. Until that time, just feel like you've absorbed enough, and that you have lifelong learning to enjoy, and like you have the rest of your life or all your lives to get to know the true nature of the multiverse. You have the rest of your universal existence to become an alien, to learn how to navigate through cosmos and use those spaceships and time machines that we sometimes call the body. Okay, so big hug. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we can close together, or was there still someone who wants to say words? think we can unmute ourselves to bring some liveliness to the space. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you so
or-
much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Italy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you to all. Thank you, bye.
everyone.
Thank you, Ethel. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. And
Thank
see
you.
you
Thank you,
soon.
everyone.
Thank you, Ethel. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Bye.